Today I thought I'd just do a kind of a quick video on how to get rid of that unwanted background. Say you want to isolate a portion of an image. Here's a quick, easy way to do it using layer masks. I'm just going to open up a image that I took out in my yard. Had this large moth. Let me orient it up there a little bit. There we go. You can see here, and then let's just say that I wanted to remove everything but the moth here, and you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. We're just going to worry about taking out that everything else except for the outline of the moth, whatever you want to use it for. The blades of grass will be an issue. You'll want to get rid of those, but right now we're going to focus on just removing that background. So once you get over here, first thing when you open this up, I always want to add an alpha mask. That way it leaves, that's the transparent background. So when you use your brush to erase, it will leave everything else transparent. If you're not worried about that, it'll leave it white. So first step is we're going right click on the image. There's other ways you can do that, but this is just the easiest. I'm going to add layer mask, and I'm going to leave here's a dialog that pops up. I'll leave this at white, full opacity, and I'm going to add that in. And let's go down and get our pencil. And as you can see with this pencil now, make that a little bit bigger, and I'm going to go ahead and use the feather, and then I'm going to let me get that dialog, the brush editor. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let me see here, why isn't it? There we go. Double click there, and it allows me to change the size. So I'm just going to boost that up. You can kind of see the outline of the brush there. And the first time I'm going to go pretty large so we can get a larger area of the, and basically we're just erasing it. Now if you take your, let me move this up. You take your color selector. The great thing about this, if I switch that to the white and go back over that, I can undo or repaint in the areas that I just erased. Let me show up here. So I'm going to switch it back to black. Oops, I accidentally erased the entire moth. Let's switch this back to white and cover that back in. So that's an important thing to note. And so I'm going to switch it back to black, and I'm just going to, part of the screen you're not going to be able to see because it's out of frame, but I am just removing the larger portion. Don't want to get that little antennae. And you can get as close as you can. This just saves you a lot of time from using a small brush. Move my toolboxes out of the way. And let's just go right up there. And as you can see, most of that border is gone. And we'll lower the size again over here and make it a little bit more manageable. Using my Gimp, it just stopped working. There it went. It worked on the brush. For some reason, it just glitched on me there. I have no idea. It was like I'm painting and nothing's happening. So we're just painting out all that area. I don't have the steadiest of hands, so Trying to get all that out of there. There's probably other ways that people will do, but I find this one of the easiest and less if you make it, I guess if you make an error, you can easily just undo it. That's whatever we want to use for that. And then what I'll do is let's change our brush up a little bit and make it a little softer and change the size down. Once you get down to the nitty gritty or down close, I like to use a little feather in there. And depending on how close the detail you want to get, it could take you, it's going to take you a little bit of time to clear all this out. All the way up. I'm going to switch back over to the hard line. And that'll give you a little sharper image. And I just went a little bit deep there, so that's when I can come over here, change the color to white, and then like right there I can undo that, and then change it back to black and go in and try to get a little closer without actually cutting out that antennae. Antennae, I don't know. There I go, I messed it up, so I'll switch back over and go back to black. And if you do, it does not seem to be working quite the way you want to, this is what that, switching back to white and black, that's where we set it in the settings when we applied the layer mask, or when we added a new layer mask. Setting it to white as full opacity. So as you can see, we are getting pretty close. I thought about just switching back over to the softer one. I like to use a softer one, and I'll go in and it depends on what I'm using it for. Let's say you're putting this on a shirt and you just wanted to outline. You wouldn't necessarily need to go. You can apply a sharper border around it later, but this is going to take me a few minutes. I'm not going to get super detailed here, just in the interest of time. But I hope that you guys get an understanding of what I'm doing here, so that you might be able to do it yourself. I know that was one of the first things I did when I was creating a design for a t-shirt for merch by Amazon. Was I only wanted portion of an image. One design I did was an aircraft carrier that was like busting out of the t-shirt, and the aircraft carrier was the actual carrier, but it was out in the ocean, of course. Where else would it be? I guess it could be dry docked somewhere, but it's still close to water. And so I had to eliminate all of the water from that image. So I had to figure out how to do that in a relatively quick. Well, when I first started, I did the basics. Just trying to select by color, but that really did prove very a challenge, because the there were shadows and stuff that was on the ship that were similar to the color of the water. So I forgot to switch my color. Oh, you can't see some of this stuff is out of frame. I'm so sorry. I am actually sitting here. I forgot to raise this up. Raise you up. Okay, that's enough of that. And it looks like I got most of this over here done. I just go up here and quickly do. I almost feel like that. What was his name? Bob. It's a happy moth. Go to your happy moth place. Oops. Switch over to black. So I can erase actually. Happy, happy, happy moths. I can't figure out why I can't do that. Anyway, for the purpose of this, I am going to just I was going to call it done till I just ran my brush down here. So we'll go down here and we'll fix these areas. And there we go. And then we can come in, switch it back to black. You can make your brush a lot smaller. You know, you work on, you do you figure out how close you can get with a larger brush. Do you want to get a smaller one and zoom in and try to get it? It really just depends on the amount of detail that you're wanting. So I can change this all the way down. Just went to my tool option, changed it all the way down to 1. Maybe I'll go up to 5. Oops. Too big. Yeah, it's let's try that. So probably change it to white. Let's see if we can get just a little bit closer without gouging the antenna. Damn me. Anyway, that is, you can see I did not get the top portion of this. Let's go ahead and take care of that. I'm going to come to my tool options for the brush. I'm going to make that big. Let's make it bigger. Go big or go home. And then I'm going to change it back over to black. And let's just erase all that. Sorry about that. No, I'm just trying to resize. And there we go. We removed all of that. You can go in with there's ways of removing that blade of grass, but just for today's purposes, it looks like I'll go in and I'll use the select tool. And if you can see, there's little spots like here that we missed. So I'm going to go back to the pencil tool. Let's get that size back down. Oh, you have to unselect. Select none. And you kind of you have to try to remember where those spots were, but I'm going to just swipe all the way around. I know there's some up here around this side, and I just get a select. That pretty much covered it. I was just looking for those little selections. Okay, so let's say now we have a selection, and I'm going to create a new layer just to throw in a little bonus. Okay, so basically on this layer, I selected everything around the I have to pause for just a second. I got a call. Life does go on. Okay, I'm back from my call. I apologize for that. It'll probably be seamless from what you see. So I'm on my original layer, and I use my selection, the fuzzy select tool up here in the toolbox, and I selected everything outside of that. Now, this is just a little play on the layers. Just if you haven't become completely familiar with that yet, I'm going to switch over to this layer, and as you know, I selected everything outside of the moth. But let's say I wanted a silhouette of that moth. I can go up here and select, invert, and I'm going to turn off the layer we're not looking. But you'll see that it still has, now instead of outside of the outline, it's the inside. So we can go ahead and use just, let's say, a fill tool. Where's my bucket fill? There it is. And it's filled with black. And there you go. You'll see that we made a silhouette. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to do a silhouette of this moth, but there it is all the same. And then if you decide you're happy with this outcome, you can right click and apply the layer mask. So it's just a flat image. And let's go ahead and do that. Apply layer mask. And now you can see that it is a flat image. But this one here, now you can just manipulate the image like you want. Anyway, I hope this was informational. Again, I am not a professional at this. I do a lot of other things outside of this. It's more of a hobby. But if you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. If not, I apologize that it wasn't quite what you're looking for. And I will be trying to get more content out around GIMP. Most of my stuff is about reselling. If you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions on what type of informational video you would like me to put out, please leave it down in the comments below, and I will address as quickly as possible and get something out to y'all. Anyway, thanks again for stopping in. We'll see you next time. Peace out.